Hello, it's Kerry. Welcome back to week 2 of the Exploring Nature Metrifying workshop. Last week we laid out this workshop kit into A4 format adapted from the original 12 by 12 instructions, and now this week I'm going to be proceeding with putting the photos in and seeing if I want to make any further adjustments to the embellishment. You'll see that I've popped some photos down. They're not stuck down yet, but this is the format that I'm thinking. So on this side, Sky and me are both looking into the layout, and on this side, Layla and Richard are doing the same. And this is just about when we went on a trip to see the waterfall. I had hoped that we could walk down to actually get to the waterfall, but Richard had injured his foot, so he wasn't really up for walking. I'm probably going to ink up the edges of these photos and get them stuck down. I'm happy with the placements that they're at. It's quite funny actually, I'm going, let's go to the waterfall, and we didn't get to go. So what I'm thinking is I'm probably going to put the date in here. I don't think I need to use this as a journaling spot as well, so I'm thinking I probably will here put the name of the waterfall, and then I possibly see about putting some more embellishments around here and also here, because it being the A4 format, which means that you tend to have taller empty spaces that sometimes need to be embellished. We might just build out this cluster here, and then this would be another cluster, and then that would be 1, 2, 3 clusters, which would be more standard. I'm going to get the photos organized and stuck down and have a think about how I'm going to put the name of the waterfall on here. When I went looking through my nature stamps and dies, I actually found this pair of walking boots that I had previously stamped and coloured in and never used, and because they've got this very bright green here which reflects some of the greens and the plants in the photos, I thought they might sit quite nicely there, fill that little gap in that we talked about. I also have this old stamp from Close to My Heart, Welcome to the World, Find Your Own Way, that I think will be a cluster somehow. But then because I bought brown up here, I want to bring some brown down here. There is a small amount of brown already in this cluster. So I was thinking I might look at putting a log round in, and then I can cut out some of these die cut spriggy shapes and they can come out from the log round. So I've got my brand new Stampin Positioner, literally came yesterday, so I haven't done anything with it other than open the box and look at it, and I thought this would be a good thing to test the Stampin Positioner out with. So because that is a kind of mid brown, thought I would get Pecan Pie, and then this is the log round. At first I could only find a really small log round, and I was thinking I'm sure I had a different one. Eventually found it, filed under textures rather than under nature, which was where I was looking. What we'll do is we'll just cut a piece of this card here to stamp this log round onto, and then we'll give the Stampin Positioner a go. Might be slightly tricky now, I haven't left much space for the magnets. So the top lifts completely off, and then one of the things that it recommends is to use this corner shape here to pop your piece into, and then the magnets are thin with a little bit to get hold of, which is great, but they are very strong, so they're madly trying to stick back down while I'm going to position it. I think that will work. I think I've used this stamp before, but it still feels quite sticky, so just going to give that a rub on my arm. That looks a lot less shiny than it did before, so we'll pop this into place. I mean, I'm just going to have to cut this out by hand. I don't have a die for this, so as long as I've got a good space all the way around, we'll be fine. So then you line up the positioner on these holes here, and this is where it's different from any other type of stamping platform you might have seen before, because there's no folding like there normally is. It's a press, so you press down, it picks up your stamp. And then this is nice and flat. This is what I'm quite excited about for the positioner, is it'll be easy to put whole scrapbook pages into here to stamp directly onto your page, which is something that frankly always terrifies me. So very excited that we'll be able to do it without kind of creasing up the page or whatever that might be. This ink looks like it's going down quite well, but because we've got the positioner now, if it doesn't give a great first stamp, we can just go again. Pop it in the little holes, give it a press. It pops back up. And there we go. So we're obviously going to need to stamp again, and we can be confident that it's going to go back in exactly the same place. Lift up, lift off. So still need to give it a little bit more there. Right. Oh, hang on. That magnet's too close now. There we go. So one really nice crisp stamp with the positioner. So I need to fussy cut this now. So when you're fussy cutting, the general rule is go as slow as you want to, but move the paper rather than the scissors. You see I'm moving the paper with my left hand so that I can just focus on the cutting with my right. There we go. I think that should be good. I'm going to fit this in here somehow. I'll probably just put it coming out from behind that. And then you've got that brown. It might be nice to have something else in brown here. Maybe I could do a little stamping of something there. I did stamp this. I had to find a small enough stamp to fit Taganok on because it's a long word. And the only stamps that I had that were small enough were a little old-fashioned wooden block set. So you can't actually see what you're stamping. So it's a little bit all over the place. But actually, I quite like that rustic. Done the date stamp, which for once for me turned out really well. I put a little bit of blue ink blending on there. I think just pull that kind of lighter blue down into here. And then I used my new Pretty Peacock ink to stamp in Wanderlust that I found in my stash, because I just felt it looked a bit strange that one was completely blank when the others all had things happening. What I'm going to do now is cut out some of these little sprigs and get that stamped. Welcome to the Wild. I haven't quite decided what colour I'm going with that for yet. Stamp this in Pretty Peacock, and I just trimmed the white edge off the boots a little bit more. It was a bit too in your face. And I also stamped with a wood grain stamp just here under these. I lifted them up and I actually used the new stamping platform. I slid the stamp in, and then it didn't matter that these were on top as I used the platform to press them down. That just brings a little bit of that brown down here. So we've got kind of our 3 points of the brown now. And then I've cut out various sprigs using the light side of Granny Apple Green with a few in the darker side. And then this is a yellow on my stash. And I've got a few different shapes. What I want to do is build a cluster here and something around here, and then we'll decide if we need to bring any of those brighter colours down here as well. Being this is the biggest space, I think we'll start here, and I'm trying to bring in these more vibrant colours that pick up from the photo. So just going to fiddle with these really and see how we end up. So I kind of feel this is too big to have the whole piece up here, and I feel like we maybe do need a bit more yellow down here. So what I'm thinking is I might just snip this here, and then we can maybe use those 3 up there, and we've got 2 extra to pop in down here. And I think we do need, so maybe we'll keep one of these for up there, and then we've got yellow and green and yellow. Yeah, that's quite good, like it's starting to come together now. I cut a couple of these in true granny apple green. Oh yeah, I like that up there. Can we do the same on this side, or does that make it look a bit? No, I do, I like that. And I have actually got another couple of these in Pretty Peacock that I previously cut and didn't use, so we could bring a bit of that in as well. I mean, I think I'd put them at the bottom of the cluster, but yeah, maybe a couple of these in like that. That's about right. Obviously I'll have to get the layers right. This one over here is much smaller. I'm going to put the green going that way because you've got that green there, and then we'll maybe put one of these in, and then that can go on top. And then, oh, it's hard to pick them up over here. Then we've got one of those if we want it. No, I think we want a stronger colour there. Maybe we could go for these little more transparent. I really like these, and I tend to keep all my sprigs together. The problem with that is that I don't actually know now where this came from. It's quite a new one, so I must have had it in a fairly new recent set. If you know which set it's from, pop it in the comments for me, please, would you? Yeah, something like that. Maybe we do put this peacock one in just under that, in under here, just to help bring that up a bit. Kind of feel like we need to do another one if we're going to do that. Put another one here. The only other thought would be we turn this one over and go for that stronger green. No, I do like the Pretty Peacock. I think I'm going to cut another one in Pretty Peacock, and then I'll get these stuck down. Okay, I've stuck everything down now. I decided we did need a little bit of that bright green and yellow down here, so I just squeezed in a couple of little leaves, so now that brightness really draws your eye across the layout. I'm really pleased with the balance we've got there now. I put the journaling, which talks about how we didn't actually get to go and see the falls, but other than that, I think we're done, aside from putting on a little bit of bling. So I'll probably get Sky to come and help me with that, and then I can show you the finished piece. I've put some sequins on here in that bubbly way like I did on last week's layout, and then I've used some of the green glittery gems that I think were part of one of the Christmas sets this year, so you can see things sparkling. There's a close-up of that embellishment cluster, and then this is the one that was obviously part of the original layout that I've just filled in a little bit more here, and then there's the boots and that other cluster there. If you've liked that, please do give it a like. I'd love it if you would start to follow along for this workshop series. It's going to be going on for the next few weeks as we go through the various projects. Come back and see me again, maybe next Friday when we're going on to project 2. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.